But speaking of scent and speaking of being quiet and traumatized, let's jump into it because it's Persona time, baby. Yay. Let's go. Hell yeah. So, previously on Persona D&D, the Torn Veil. You guys, that was pretty emotional. That was, I think that's putting it lightly on how high the emotions were running there for a bit. You know, Avarith, you had lunch with Artoria, who is very aggressive and essentially said stay out of her way and she'll take care of you after she takes out your brother from the succession line. And you found out, you're pretty sure that she has a palace. You didn't confirm it, but you are pretty sure. You also had a meal with Dane later in the evening. This is obviously skipping around for time events, but I'm just going to cover you guys one by one. He admitted a lot of interesting things about his relationship with his aunt, the headmistress, as well as you admitted a few different things about your new relationship with Sho and the headmistress, and the expectations that Aurelius has of you. To which Sho has no clue, by the way. You did confirm that. So that was good. Good job. Dane did leave you high and dry, sitting alone at the blue table, to leave you with your thoughts as we ended last week. Cyrus, you also had quite a fun time. You saw and kind of spent a little bit of time with Selena. You saw her getting stalked by her stalker that she reported about. You confronted said stalker and chased him away. You didn't actually get to learn his name, unfortunately, but you did chase him away, and Selena was able to get back to the academy relatively, unwatched, that is. You spent some time with your best bud, Leo. And he showed you to Blaine's office where he unveiled his first bit of evidence to overthrow Sho as the student council president, being a voting fraud through not only Scent, but other active members and even himself, in indicating that somebody named Kinben was the actual winner. And he said he was going to track down this Kinben. He didn't say that there was a rush to it, and that he wanted to take his time tracking this guy down and kind of coaxing him into his plan should the Zested twins, the prince and princess, refuse the offer of taking up the role as student council president. And that was kind of it. That's all he really had. He said that he wanted to hunt down more information because just some writing in a textbook was not enough to overthrow Sho, because anybody can write in a book. So, you then had your... Oh, actually... We'll cover what happened with Sen, because he started to tie into that. Sen, you went to the disciplinary committee. You met up with Hugo and Elira. You had kind of a humorous situation going on there with Elira being very gung-ho about being on the committee and just doing a very good job and just getting, knee-deep into it as quickly as possible. You sent Hugo away to do some investigating into some of the disciplinary committee issue forms, namely the bullying issue with Cardwin and the tracking down of Roland or his sister Celeste and just getting information. So he went and did that per your request, and while you were standing by kind of helping Elira learn the ropes while she was helping you do some paperwork, Dana Rainmore made her appearance to talk to you about her friend, Selena Magnaporti. Dana informed you about the stalker, what he looked like, what he wanted, what she overheard. And you took it in the information, you noted down what you needed to note down, and then Ziore, your sister, after Dana left, Ziore sat down, taking a second to breathe over how busy of a schedule she has and how busy of a schedule you have, and having that sibling bond moment. You began to talk about your family and the expectations of your family in the academy. And you had mentioned Cinna, and Ziore's response is, "Who's Cinna?" Which sent you into a blind panic. You didn't know what was going on. So you went immediately to your room, and Cyrus, this is the part where you catch wind of Scent being in a blind panic, not knowing what's going on. You followed him, and you found out he was asking about someone named Cinna and where she went. You have no idea who he was talking about. And you went to the Cloud Catacombs afterwards to speak with Istis. Avarif, you joined in tow, and you met up with Dane as well. And the group of you went and spoke with Istis after confirming everybody has no clue who Cinna is. Istis, on the other hand, is the only one other than Scent to know who Cinna is, even Bashaba. Istis indicated that she had no clue where the two of them were, and said that it would take a little while to track them down. She doesn't know how long, but she indicated that it might take some time to track her down, and you all asked, what can you do on your end to save her? And Istis said you might not be strong enough to do it yet. And you asked Istis to train you, to get you guys ready, and she said she would. Scent, you stayed behind in the Cloud Catacombs as everybody else sort of departed, and you kind of cradled up in Tamora's arms as you kind of cried your eyes out for a little while. Avarif, this is when you and Dane went to the blue table to talk, and then, like I said earlier, Dane departed and left you sipping on whatever beverage you prefer at the restaurant. And Cyrus, while you were kind of left in the lurch between Avarif and Dane's departure, you were approached by your sister, Ionos. A very surprising surprise, if you will. And she asked if you two could talk, because she wanted to follow through on her promise. As she mentioned, her mind was feeling more clear than it has ever been. And you agreed, and she asked if you guys could walk, and you held hands as you walked through the academic city, catching a lot of praise from people. Just glances here and there of like, what the heck is going on? Why is that kid holding Ionis' hand? Why are they so calm and walking together? Like, what is happening? But nobody approached you. You didn't notice anybody from Leo's Who party. Do you think you were probably all right? Although, might end up with some rumors, but you know, that's just how it goes. And you arrived at Thanks a Latte. Sat down, got your beverages, and that is where we ended session. Right before your conversation. And that is where we are going to start the game. Cyrus, you are sitting at a bar, kind of like you know, in some restaurants how there's like bars, but they're like against windows looking out into like the streets and stuff like that.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little breakfast bar situation. So like you can sit on a stool, and there's like candle lights, and there's like the nice city life light of the red light district, kind of outside of just passing traffic of people. It's a quiet night in Thanks a Latte. It's really just the two of you. There's the bartender, and then there's, a few people meandering around inside the restaurant, just kind of either having, a mixed drink of some kind or, a latte, because it's their specialty. A late night latte.
Tell.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody's really paying attention to the two of you. What are you doing?
So first, I did not in fact get a coffee. I in fact got tea.
There you go. Okay.
Because it's later in the evening, and I'm just I'm just making excuses at that point.
Yep.
But no, I'm just sitting there, like kind of just eyeing my tea and big sip out of it, and I'll turn to Ionos and say, "So, where do we begin?"
Kind of shudders a little bit, and she looks down at her drink and begins stirring in 2 cubes of sugar and says, "Hey, I don't really know. It's been a long time since we had a real conversation, feels like. I don't even know what to say."
Yeah. I kind of don't either. Leo told me, or I kind of intuited rather, that Leo was one of the reasons why a huge wedge was driven between us. Why don't we start there?
Her back kind of stiffens. Yeah, that's it's true. When we were young, you and I used to go play out in the snow together, and we would make snowmen, and Mom would come out every now and again and check in on us and make sure that we weren't getting into any sort of trouble or attracting the wrong kind of attention. But, nobody could know our relationship, so Cardinal Blackwood always, brought you to different places, and that's how you became friends with Leo pretty early on in your childhood. Leo sort of approached in that end, and you know how he was when he was young, kind of a prankster, but he hit you with a snowball from a distance and you didn't see it coming, and I got mad because you started to cry. And I said that you were my brother, and I told him to never hurt you again or he would be sorry, and he got scared and he started crying because I was threatening him. And I was significantly bigger than him at the time, although now roles are a bit reversed. But the queen had overheard me. She was nearby and I didn't know. And she walked over and she said she didn't know that the Pontifex was allowed to have more than one child, or that she was allowed to have natural birth children, because that's not how it's presented to the public. And I mean, I don't know what they think or why they think that. Mom says a lot of things. Because, how else her babies are made, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's just the mysticality of it. I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering the whole country we come from is basically a theocracy at this point, I believe anything's a work of a god, rather than it just happening naturally.
Yeah, people there are kind of twisted, but I mean, it works. Mom does a lot of good work for our people, and I think that me taking over when I'm done here, I can also do a lot of good work for our people.
Yeah,
She
there's
kind of
something.
smiles as she looks down at her drink.
Yeah. I'll take a sip of my tea and smack my lips a little bit and just kind of look outside the window. So, outside of it, probably an obvious grudge that I know Leo's had against Mom and by extension you for how he sees the royal family not truly being in power and all that crap. What? Why did... Was it just because you had to hold up the narrative and save face for Mom that you had to distance yourself from me? Or was it something else?
I was afraid, is what it was. I was very scared because the Queen immediately saw it as an opportunity to get rid of Mom, and by extension get rid of me, and then get rid of you. And when I thought about that, I didn't know what to do. And then Leo, a few years passed, and Leo told me that if I didn't want everything to go bad, then I should just start being mean. Start being cruel to you. And I didn't understand why, but I knew that if I did do that, then it would keep you safe. It would put a shield around you because it would push you away from Mom and I. Should anything happen to either of us, then you would be okay.
So my quote-unquote best friend decided to ruin my relationship with the only family I have and claim that what he's doing is for me, for us. And all it is just a petty fucking grudge he has. It sickens me to my stomach that I ever called him a brother. And as I say that, my grasp around my teacup will strengthen, kind of shaking the cup itself. Enough force where to the point, like if I were to go any harder, it might break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she places her hand on your shoulder, like, very lightly. Like I said, there's no amount of I'm sorry's that I can say to make anything better or repair what I've broken.
At the end of the day, it's not your fault. You were doing what you thought was right. Even if that means I had so much misplaced hatred, questions, and anger towards you for so long. Directed at Rio. When I had no... When in reality... I didn't have to be angry at my sister.
Like, reaches out and just pulls you in for like a bear hug. And just starts squeezing you tightly. You have no idea how happy that makes me to hear. I didn't know if you were gonna... I mean, I don't want to be presumptuous that you'd forgive me, but... I'm not going anywhere. Ever again. I'll be here whenever you need me. And I'm sorry.
It's okay. Like I said, it's not your fault. It's all the bastard Leo's fault.
Mm. He'll get his. Karma comes around and it goes around. And whatever karmic justice allowed me to clear my mind, it'll do 10 times the damage to him for what he's done to us.
I'll start to kind of break away a little bit from the hug that Ionos has on me. Not to the point where I'm breaking it, but to the point where I can look at her, dead in the eyes.
Yeah, and you see just like light tear lines from her mascara just streaming down.
I promise you, he's going to get what's coming to him and then some. I swear on my life. He will know the pain he inflicted on us, especially to you. Ionos, I promised you that I would help, and I won't stop helping you. I don't know how I'll take care of Leo in the specifics, or how that karmic justice will dole out its... But I promise you, I'll make sure he gets what's coming to him.
He just smiles at you. I believe you. You've grown up so much. I couldn't be more proud of you.
Thanks. I won't lie, too much has happened since school began.
Literally the first month. Literally the first
10
month.
years older at this point.
You're not kidding.
So much has happened, and so much is still happening. And I want to tell you something, Ionos, but I can't tell you right now. But it's nothing bad at all. I hesitate to tell you now because I don't know what the repercussions of me telling you what I want to tell you could be. So I need time to really evaluate what danger there could be. So just promise. No. Just wait. a little bit for that. And I'll tell you.
She leans forward and kisses you lightly on the forehead. You don't have to tell me anything. I'm in your corner.
Thank you. And I appreciate the sentiment. Like I said, when I know that I want to tell you, and I know it's okay to tell you, I will. Even if you say I don't have to. So I think you deserve to know.
Thank you.
Of course. And as I'm sure you're aware, I've kind of wiggled my way into Leo's little coup group. It's to try and stop him, like I told you, and I'm sure you've been able to put two and two together. But I'm going to have to act a lot different than I usually would. Face sure that Leo doesn't catch on to anything. But
Well, if the past 10 or so years are anything to go by, acting chops are pretty good in our family.
Guess so. But yeah, know that if there's ever a time where you and I are put in a room together, I don't mean what I would have to say, so long as Leo is present.
Perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that was clear as day. Because if you run into Leo and he mentions anything about, the other night,
You did a number.
yeah, physical one, a mental one.
Mm.
Yeah, but I don't know when, but I will do my best to put a stop to Leo's insane, deranged plans as well. And I'm not alone in that.
Good. Because he does need to be stopped. In any way that we can. I don't know in the long run how this is going to work out, considering he's literally the Prince of Shinami. Although, when he becomes king, it won't make a difference as long as I'm the Pontifex.
And that's my worry. I'll kind of turn back towards my tea. As far as I'm aware, Leo just wants to literally flip the world on its head. And that's why he brought together so many different people of power.
Mm-hmm.
From the Zested twins to any of the other young nobles of provincial families across the continent. He wants a new world order. And I'm sure he's going to start by making sure that you suffer the most. Because he's such a narcissist that doesn't even know how to control his own inflated ego.
No, he has no clue. And his parents don't make it any easier either.
If there ever comes a time where you are in danger, Ionos, tell me immediately and I will do what I must to help you and protect you. Even if that means I have to break character in front of Leo. Enough hurt has befallen you. And I just have reason to think that. And that's twisted ass mind of his. He just wants to defile you and remove any semblance of humanity and dignity that you could ever possibly hope to have. Don't ask me how I know that, but it's a hunch.
Yes, I was starting to hear the rumors about mine and his betrothal that he was trying to spread. I wasn't too fond of that rumor, but I am doing my best to squash it.
I'll do what I can too. Well, of course, not spilling too many details that aren't necessary for the public to know.
I appreciate it.
You should know as well. My friends that I'm sure you've seen and have interacted with.
Mm-hmm.
I told them about you and I, but know that they can be trusted, and they're part of the reason why I'm even trying to stop Leo. So Sent and Avaref, they're good people.
And then perhaps I owe them an apology for my recent actions as well.
I think they'd understand. So, but yeah. I'll say it again, but if I have to fucking stab Leo, I will.
Well, let's hope not. That would be quite a gruesome fight, and I don't want to assist you with this endeavor. It would put him down very quickly.
I wouldn't want you to help just because I wouldn't want that sort of blood to be smeared on the Pontifex family name.
Come now. You think I would let it come to that quickly? Who would even know?
I mean, you do have friends in high places. Oh.
So.
Right. Yeah.
The Leo stuff aside, I am really glad to see you, and I know that you have so many questions about our family, and I'm willing to tell you as much as I can, because I know that Cardinal Blackwood kind of held you at arm's length for a long time.
Yeah, I'm sure the business with Leo didn't help anything in that regard as well.
Exactly.
I'm sure he was doing it just to make sure that I didn't do anything rash, especially when I was younger.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if you know the answer to this, and I don't expect all the answers all at once. Who's my dad?
Who's your daddy? Sorry.
She reaches towards her drink, and her hand is shaking lightly, and she goes to take a sip, and she spills a little bit, and she puts the cup back down, and she turns back to you. Do you not want to ask Mother that? Or do you want me to tell you?
I mean, how would I be able to get in touch with her outside of just attempting to write a letter? All contact was cut between us essentially after, God, whenever. If you think it'd be best I ask Mom, I'll see how I can't get in touch with her, assuming you can help me. But it's just a question I've had on my mind almost my whole life. Sure, Cardinal Blackwood has been a great father figure, and I owe a lot to him. But
The Pontifex, Cyrus, the Pontifex. As you know, Mother and I share a name, and you do share that last name. as well. But the first name, Ionos, it's been in our family for a few generations now, and in fact, before the first Ionos Valdred, Kismet, years and years and years ago, that actually was the name of the religious leader of our nation when it was first founded. However, our lineage, when it was passed down, the Pontifex was only ever able to have a daughter. Nobody could tell why or knew why. But when the first Pontifex gave birth, it was a daughter, and so on. And that daughter became the Pontifex. So when Mom had me, I was a long line of daughters. And then you came. Seemingly out of nowhere from my point of view. Whether or not Mom planned to have you or wanted to have you, she wanted you always with her. Obviously, her position wouldn't allow that, and it kills her to not have you with her to this day. But our father, he couldn't be with me the same way that he could be with you. So when you were born and Mom had to come up with this with Father, and they had to put distance between each other. He took you and raised you.
So Cardinal Blackwood is my dad?
Yes. The royal family, the reason that they are the royal family is because they believe that their bloodline holds the bloodline of the first king of our nation. That isn't true. It's never been true. Cardinal Blackwood's line, his bloodline, is the blood of the first king.
Now it's all coming together. My existence is a threat to the status quo.
Undoubtedly. Bloodline of the Pontifex and the bloodline of the first king. Kind of a perfect storm.
You're telling me? I wanted answers. I'm certainly getting them. Oh. It's nice to know I was with my real dad the whole time.
And I know, Ferdinand is... I'm sorry, Cardinal Blackwood. He can be how he can be. But if he didn't make any indication, I'm sure that there was a reason for it.
Yeah. No, with everything you've told me, it makes sense. Like I said, the whole picture's coming together. I'm sure he withheld whatever he thought was necessary to protect me. And by extension, also to protect you and Mom.
Yeah. Anyway, it's getting kind of late. I know, I've been, I said I'll be here no matter what. For you. But, I am a fourth year and my time at the academy ends this year and you're only just starting.
I know.
I haven't decided if I want to stay another year yet, and I know Mom is ready for me to take over. But I have done so much wrong to you, and I will do everything in my power to make things right between us, and I've screwed up for too long. But if you want me to, I will resign from my position and go home. What do you want to do? What do you think would make you... What do you think would make you feel the most safe? Because to be honest, a part of me feels like you wouldn't be safe back home either, even if you were to resign. If I had it my way, I would stay here. And I would keep you safe.
Jonas, you kept me safe for so long. You don't need to keep protecting your little brother. I'm grown up now. It's my turn to help protect you. All those years of hatred were not your fault. It's Leo. And he's scary, but only because he thinks he is. Whether or not you want me to make that decision for you, whether to go home and resign and leave that position open and see what chaos ensues in the academy, I understand why you want me to make it, but you don't have to feel like you owe me a decision like that as any sort of payback or what have you. You are your own person. We'll have time to make up for lost time. At the end of the day, I want you to be safe. If that means you feel more safe going home and essentially taking on the role of Pontifex sooner rather than later, then do it. Or you can stay here. I miss you, but I also know that you need to be able to make your own decisions, and Leo makes things hard for you here at the academy. If I had things my way, I'd have Leo taken care of in an instant. You and I could just have one school year together. But fantasy versus reality are two very different things. So again, what do you want to do?
Perhaps I'll call Noah sooner. He wrote me a letter at the start of the year and said he would be joining us halfway. I'll call for Noah, and I'll bring him on as one of my aides, and we can stay.
Make me your squire. I say that because it lets me somewhat show Leo that I'm more of a valuable asset than I'm sure he considers me to be. And that also means I can be close by to you. And I can help you. And the sooner Noah gets here, the better.
You're going to be putting Leo in quite the predicament.
I'll find a way to convince him.
Quite the power play.
I should take things up every now and then.
I will write to Noah tonight. Send it out express through Oscar. And I will leave the conversation with Leo to you. But you have my blessing to be my squire.
Thank you. I'll see what I can do.
And she stands up and she hugs you again. Says, have a good night, Sai.
You too. You know where to find me.
Of course. And you know where to find me.
Finally.
And she turns around and she leaves.
I'll follow her. Sorry, I'm not gonna leave and follow her. At my seat, if I can see her like walking, I'll follow her to follow where she's going to make sure that she's safe until she's out of eye shot.
Yeah, looks like she's heading back to the academy.
Cool. And I'll gulp down the rest of my tea, slam it down on the counter, and just let out one big hell of a sigh. Get it? Because she called me Sigh.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Hilarious. But yeah, no, just go. Got a lot of work cut out for myself.
All right.
And then I'll just leave Thanks a Lot and start wandering back towards my room.
Okay. All right. You can do that. Hello, Avarif. How's it going?
Hello.
Hello. All right. So you are at the blue table. You have Dane has just departed. He said he was meeting up with his aunt. He had to meet with her. What are you doing?
Rat. You better not be a rat. Wow. Today's still Saturday, right?
Today is still Saturday. It's getting like into the later part of the day.
I already had my lunch. Already went shopping.
It's like past dinner time.
Past dinner time.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. I would actually like to go into the catacomb. Actually, wait, no, Striker's or Sent's in there. Shit. Is there any other place I can go?
I mean, the catacombs is big.
Yeah, I mean, the catacombs is pretty large, so like if you don't want to see each other while you're in there, You could do that.
Oh, okay. I will enter the catacombs and run very quickly away.
Oh, he's like over by Istis. He's like near Istis.
Oh, so you're like far
yeah,
away.
yeah. He's
Okay.
he's deep in. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I will enter into the. I didn't realize that. Jesus. I was literally just picturing this like a fucking like 10 by 10 room with a.
No. This is like massive, like outside, you know, like in the sky type of deal, like massive
Okay.
pillars and shit. Yeah.
If that's the case, then
Big place.
will walk inside and try to find like an empty corner.
Okay.
I guess.
Easy
somewhere.
enough.
And
you
I
got it.
will summon Helm.
Okay. Yeah, and you
Or
do.
I do.
But he's there before you.
Hello, Helm. Been quite a while since we've been just the two of us, besides our training, of course.
Roof.
How good you were with spells, per se?
Spellcasting is not my main focus point, but I am not adept at casting. Why do you ask?
Is there any way you can inspect me or look at me and see if you see anything wrong?
In what way?
I have a feeling that maybe I got cursed or under a spell, you know, something silly. Just want to make sure that isn't the case, though.
He kind of looks you up and down. Gonna make a... Okay. All right. Yeah. Good start for me on rolling today. Holy shit. Let's go. All right. Yeah. He looks you up and down, and you see like the lights underneath his helm start to get an helm because he's got a helmet and his name's Helm. Yes. His eyes start to glow, and he looks down at you. Yes, as I suspected. The headmistress, during your conversation, you binded to a verbal contract, a verbal magical contract.
Also, wait, I don't know. They can see everything we do.
For the
Like
most
hell.
part, if they want to, yeah.
If they want to. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Verbal contract. Okay. And is this a bad thing? I mean, what's if I break this, what happens?
It depends. I don't know the specifics of your contract or what the punishments might be, but seeing as they're not listed, they can vary. And more likely than not, punishment is up to whoever is doing the punishing.
Yeah, in this case, I have a bad feeling it's probably life itself. Does it say anything about what I specifically agreed to?
You agreed to take down the Shadow Council, from my understanding of the conversation.
Yeah. She said it was okay to do it in my own way. Okay, that's a little less worrying. I thought it was something different, but no, I mean, man of my word, I'll do what I have to.
I think as long as you abide by the contract and do as you're told, you should be fine. There doesn't seem to be any lingering effects post what she asked you to do.
Perfect. And I know you've lived for a very long time, but does killing ever get different? Just kind of like look up at him. He's 8 feet fucking tall, whatever how tall his frame.
Yeah, he's freaking massive.
And just kind of look at him and be like,
Taking a life, Avrif, is never easy. Eventually, you become numb to the pain.
is that from experience?
Yes. And the ghosts of those who've I taken haunt me daily.
His eyes kind of widen a little bit and then close back down. I didn't know you were struggling with that. I'm sorry. You know, as
Even
much as I
gods can struggle with some things.
as much as I come to you for advice and everything else, and these times are just me and you alone. You're welcome to confide as well. Although I don't have the knowledge or experience as an immortal being might have, I can maybe give something.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, well, spell doesn't equal entirely death, but death is probably if I don't do it. Okay. Well, that was a lot quicker done than I thought. What time is it you said?
It's like later in the afternoon. It's like post
How-
dinner, like evening.
How does activities work
I mean, it's like the weekend, so
can I,
If you
can I
wanna-
train with Helm because I have
Yeah.
nothing else better to do?
yeah, that'll be the rest of
Alright.
your night. But yeah,
That'll be fine. I will train with Helm unless someone comes. and
yeah.
taps me on the shoulder or
He says, as you kind of like ask to train with him, he says, actually, I've been thinking of expanding upon your most recent trick that I've taught you, retribution.
something.
I was thinking of teaching you the second part of that. If you're
He's gonna
willing to
kinda,
learn.
squint his eyes. I'm always ready to learn.
Let us get to it. All right, and you can go ahead and train. Avarif, make me roll a d20 and add your proficiency.
Do I have retribution?
Go ahead and roll a d20. Add your proficiency.
At my proficiency, what is that?
Add your proficiency. It should be like right at the top next to your walking speed. I'm trying I'm trying a different way of giving you guys like
So how do
learning
I add
checks.
proficiency to?
Just roll a
my-
custom d20 and then manually add it. So like it's
Oh,
just
then we
plus,
add plus. Okay.
yeah, just add +2 to whatever you roll. Alright. 10, easy enough. Good. That's still a pass. You finish off, and you've learned a new move, which I've already added to your sheet.
Oh.
Already added it. I've already added it.
Let's go.
Ooh, where is it? Where is it? Oh.
Under reactions.
Oh.
It has replaced retribution.
I see. That's what I couldn't figure out.
Mhm.
All right.
All right. So that is the remainder of your evening as you've now learned your new move from Helm.
Take it. Well, thank you, Helm, for taking your time tonight. I
course.
am exhausted.
Get some rest.
I will do. We'll meet again.
Of course.
I'm gonna go start walking back to my room.
Gotcha.
Actually, can I spend one more night with Gage?
I mean, yeah, if you want to,
Yeah.
for sure. All right. So you go do that. Stent, hello.
Hello.
How goes?
There's a puddle.
Okay. There's a puddle. That's fine. So as you were sort of still in a puddle, recovering, we're going back in time. Blue, blue, blue. After everybody left the first time, you are recovering from crying, and Tamora comforting you. And more time passes, and more time passes, and the twins have also sort of like, in their own ways, tried to comfort you as well. And as much as you can cry, eventually you run out of tears. And Istis has been sitting there the whole time with her eyes closed, searching, looking. You know that she's looking for any sign of Senna in the world, anywhere, in and out of the palaces. And just before the time to which Avrith would be leaving the catacombs, Avrith, you do see the sky kind of shockwave a bit, but you are going to bed, so it is what it is. It's like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just this
Sure.
just this
I'm
this
just gonna
doing
walk
this
right out.
stuff. Yeah, see ya. And Istis looks down at you, Sent, and she says, I think I've found something.
His head immediately perks up and just looks over, just eyes bloodshot. It doesn't say a word.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking over.
Somewhere deep in the high forest, I've been able to find a trace of Bashaba. It isn't much, but it's a start.
That's something. Will I know how to get there, or will it just guide me, or will I need some help from, I don't know, Kimo and Komi, or
She
you?
kind of looks around her desk and she pulls out a small rock, and it has like a runic carving on it. And she slides it across her desk and she says, you'll need to find the source of the trace of magic. It will likely have been absorbed by something. Absorb it into this rock, and it should act as a sort of homing beacon within the high forest onto Bashaba's location.
Okay, good. He just takes the rock and just
Okay.
kind of just holds it to his chest. Thank you.
Of course. This is going to be a difficult path. With the lingering magic from a goddess loose in the high forest, things are going to be a lot more aggressive in there.
Well, over the course of the week and so on, am I able to come back and maybe work with you on improving myself to reach this goal of finding my sister?
Of course.
Hmm.
I did tell you that I was here for any of you should you need anything, and that stands on improving you, whether it's helping you with your magic or your studies.
Okay. Expect to see a lot more of me then over the next however long it takes.
Very good.
And he just kind of just stands there kind of wordlessly for a bit and just doesn't even like pivot or anything. He just kind of just slinks away slowly out of the cloud catacombs, kind of
Okay.
just lingering at the entrance for a bit and just walks out.
Okay. You can add like a custom item to your inventory.
Sure.
And just label it like mystical rock or something.
Got it.
So you make your way out of the cloud catacombs. Where are you heading?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think he's probably just gonna continue to wander, just for this
Alright.
other night. Still on the school grounds, but just kind of wander.
Gotcha.
No real focus on where he's going.
You begin kind of wandering around. It's pretty late at this point. And you hear kind of like quickened footsteps behind you, and you go, "Oh, hey, Sent! I've been looking for you.
Hmm?
And you turn, and it's Hugo. Huh, jeez. Whew. Didn't think I'd catch up to you. Actually, I didn't know where you were. I went back to the office, and Lyra's alone.
I needed to step away.
She's like crying over that paperwork you left her, so I just kind of left her there too. Because I wanted to come find you so I could report in about the stuff that you told me to look into.
Oh, yeah. What did you find out?
Right. So, and he pulls out a notepad and he says, so I talked with Cardwin Lawrence. I found him. He said everything was a mistake. That there's no issues with the fencing club and that the first years were playing a prank on him. Just between us, I don't think that's true. Something about him just seems really weird. Some of the first years actually looked kind of scared when he said it was a joke. So, maybe we need to look into that one a little more. I wouldn't just call that one case closed quite yet.
I agree.
The second one was Roland and his sister Celeste. Celeste requesting us to look into Roland because she thinks that he's in trouble or something. So I went and spoke with Celeste. She said it wasn't any kind of trouble with the law or anything directly, just that he's been distant and she saw him getting involved with people who were being interrogated by the neutral zone city guards. So I don't think that he himself might not be in trouble, just that he's in some shady stuff. So I don't know if we want to... Well, actually, I couldn't find him. I don't know where he is. Some of the people that I've asked said they've seen him hanging around the student council vice president's squire, Leo. People have seen them together, as well as some of the other miscreants around the city, the shadier folk. So that's not been going well for Vice President Ionos's look right now. But yeah, so that was a lot of what I had found so far.
We might be able to do a little further investigation on Roland. I have heard some rumors as well about his integration with Leo, so that might be somewhere to start too. But I have some ideas. I'll get back to you on that.
All right. And you guys, the two of you are standing kind of in a hallway in the school grounds. And you, with your heightened hearing, you can hear talking. It's a little further away than perhaps what Hugo can hear. And it sounds like it's starting to approach one of the, like a turn, like a corner of the hallway towards you guys a little bit. And you hear the name Leo mentioned in conversation.
Yeah, his ears are gonna perk up. He's just gonna kind of just take Leo and kind of shove him around the next corner.
Hugo.
Hugo, sorry.
All good.
Yeah, Hugo.
Yeah.
He's gonna kind of shove him around the next corner.
What are you doing? Shh. And as you do that, they begin to round the corner, and you can look over, and you see Roland Lush, and he's walking with somebody you remember seeing from Leo's dinner party, and he also fits the description that Dana gave you as Selena's stalker. And Hugo kind of like pushes against you. He's like, what are you looking at, son? He like peers around the corner. Who's that first year that Jarrett's talking to?
That's Roland.
Ah, gotcha.
And
he
that's
kinda like,
and that's Selena Stalker.
what?
Just
No
listen.
way.
Let's just listen.
Okay. And go and make a perception check. An advantage, because you have insane hearing.
Yay! Ew, not good. 7.
No, not good at all. They start talking in a more hushed tone. And you see the person who has been identified as Jarrett. He pushes Roland against the wall, like just shoves him, and says, "What did you just say?" And he walks up close to him, and he starts kind of like aggressively talking low to him. And you hear, "Leo did what?"
Can you hear anything, Hugo?
And Hugo's like trying to listen. They're talking about Leo going to somebody new for the student council president?
Hmm.
What do the Zested twins have to do with this? Hang on, what is going on? And he starts to like kind of push you out of the way a little bit to try and approach them.
It's just gonna kind of grab his sleeve, just pull him back. Wait.
And then Jarrett throws his hands up in the air and he walks the other direction. And Roland just kind of stands there and he runs his hands through his hair and he's like, such a hothead.
After
And
he says hothead, I'm just gonna pull Hugo away and we're gonna start walking away.
Okay. And the two of you begin walking away, and Hugo, as you guys are walking, he turns to you and he says, "What are you, Jarrett Chief, doing?"
I don't know. But they're both involved with something much larger than a simple interference will solve.
No, this is I had to have misheard. He tutored me in fencing back in Efrance. My father hired his family. He's a nice guy. He put on his feet, and he's. I mean, I think it's just late. I think I misheard.
You didn't. Unfortunately, you didn't, monsieur. You just see his face just kind of drop. And this whole, like, bold facade that he has just gone. Something's going on. It's something I can't tell you yet, but something much deeper than just a simple squabble.
Ooh.
You'll know soon, but I can't yet.
Great.
All I will say is I may be lightly involved with this, but not with the same goals in mind as them.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 14.
Okay, pretty good. So, like, some undercover stuff then.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Everything
Well-
will work. It just needs... I need time.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But this investigation of both Roland and Jared are very important. But I don't want anybody besides you or I to investigate in this. I don't want Elira involved.
Right.
I don't want any other of our aides involved. Just us.
Gotcha. Okay. Do we need to keep an eye on Jarrett?
I need to talk to Selena.
How does... Wait. Are you saying that Selena's stalker is
Yes,
tied?
I believe so.
Why would somebody be stalking Selena if they're tied with...
Does Scent know that Cyrus and Selena have been hanging out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
I have a feeling that she is indirectly involved with something going on with myself and my one of my first years.
By extension. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe not stalking for the reason of lust, but
Studying.
of necessity, yeah. That changes things. That makes it a little more dangerous.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's only a hunch. I don't know, but I have a feeling that he is trying to find something out about us, myself, and my first year through her, which is a bit odd because I don't really know her, but I know one of my first years does, and I have a feeling that she is getting thrown into something that she doesn't really need involvement in.
Well, this is it's an efference intelligence gathering game. He looks around and he says, it's not so much a secret. Most intelligence does this, is that, if we're going after somebody, whether or not we know they know that person directly, if they come into contact, it's good to follow their friends, their extended friends, to see if there's any bleed through, any leak through, anything you can exploit.
Right.
So if they're following Selena, they're hoping for not just a tie from one of your first years, but perhaps to you, or even to Dane as well.
That could be it, yeah.
And Selena's father owns the titanium mines in Efference. She's no small fish.
She needs someone to watch this person, for sure.
Right.
Roland, I'm not concerned about necessarily.
If that conversation had any indication, I would say Roland is kind of a go-between.
Mm-hmm.
He might have information.
Maybe.
He
But
might have a lot of information that we need.
I have to be careful. He can...
Man, if we could just get him out of that situation, maybe he'd be willing to talk to us somehow.
I would love to get him out.
Well, alright. I'm gonna head back to the office. I'm working the overnight shift tonight. I'm gonna send Elira to bed. I know she's gonna be there first thing in the morning. but that should be okay. Cecilia, I think, is doing the morning shift. So she'll be able to watch over Elira as well.
Yeah.
You should get some rest. You kind of look beat up a little bit.
Yeah. Hugo. He's just gonna kind of just pull him in for a hug. And just... Thank you.
And he hugs you back and he says, yeah, buddy, no problem.
Keep an eye on Leo as well. Just very quiet under his breath in the hug.
Of course.
I don't want you directly involved in this, but be aware of him.
On my guard.
Sleep well once you finish work.
Long night ahead.
Mm.
Have a good night. And he turns around and he walks away. And you can go ahead, head to bed or wherever you're heading.
He's just gonna kind of stay, like, lean against that wall for a bit, just kind of slink down for until he gets, tired.
Okay.
And then finally builds up the strength to get up and go to sleep. He's just gonna sit there for a bit.
Sounds good. All of you can go ahead, take your long rest should you need it.
Wait, there's one thing I wanted to do.
Okay, do it up.
Get it.
So before I go to bed,
Yes.
I wanted to write a letter to Cardinal Blackwood.
Okay,
And I just spent the last 30 minutes writing it.
let's go.
So I'm going to DM it to you because I want it to stay somewhat private.
Yes.
But I'll put it in my notes. How about that?
Yes.
No, let's put it in my notes. It might look a little choppy because on my laptop I don't have my account signed in for Word.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this is what it looks like. And I want that to be sent off as expressly as possible and also as privately as possible, as the details of that note are a little revealing, and I don't want anybody else except Cardinal Blackwood to see them.
Gotcha. All right. Very good. Yes.
However
you
much
can
that
do
costs, I'll subtract that from my account. So
Are you looking for like express delivery, standard delivery?
express delivery.
Express delivery.
Yes.
All right, that will be 1 platinum to do that.
1
Woo!
platinum.
Yep.
So that is how many
The-
gold pieces?
That's 10 gold pieces.
10. Okay, cool. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Let me adjust that.
The
Do-
Oscar express delivery system is good, but also expensive.
Cool. All right. I've adjusted. Bam.
All right.
Cool.
Good.
Man, that's all I wanted to do. Thank you.
All right. So you can go ahead, take your long rest.
I'm not exhausted anymore. Thank God.
Hell yeah. Let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break. I gotta refill my water. And it's 10 o'clock, I just realized.
Holy shit, yeah.
Okay. I think we are all here. I think we're all back. Break is a-okay. Nice quick break. So, let's jump back into it. You guys have gone ahead. You have taken your long rest. The night is over. The day has arrived. Morning is upon you. It is Sunday.
Sunday.
August 19th.
The longest weekend of our freaking lives.
I mean,
Dude,
you
we
know,
thought the
yeah.
the first weekend was long? We had like
Yeah.
4
This
sessions?
is like
This has
this
been like
lasted
5.
like 6.
Yeah, 5 or
Yeah.
6.
You guys did a whole palace, yeah.
Yeah. This has probably been the longest weekend.
So far.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm ready. I'm for it.
So, each of you guys wake up separately. In different rooms. Avrith, you spent the night in Gage's room. Cyrus, you realizing that Avrith still had not come back to your room. You do wake up and he is not there. Sent, you two wake up in your room. Senna is still missing, still gone. Her bed is not there. Unless anybody wants to do anything, you guys can all meander and meet up for breakfast, whether you are planning to or not. You all make your way to the cafeteria and you see each other.
Sen's gonna kind of just sit at like the edge of his bed and just kind of like stare at where Cinna's bed used to be and just like blink and kind of just like squint his eyes really hard, just hoping that she comes back for like probably a good 5-10 minutes, and just keep doing that until leaving.
Is there anything either of you want to do before heading to breakfast?
My dinner's later today, right?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, let's get some food.
Yeah, I'll just kind of roll out, actually not exhausted, and like rebandage my fists as needed, and then head on out to the cafeteria to get some grub in me.
Okay. With Scent kind of lingering further behind Avrith and Cyrus, you do see each other. You kind of walk into the cafeteria at the same time, seeing each other. For, all intents and purposes, you guys saw each other yesterday, but things still are lingering in the air between you.
I'll give a slight wave, and then start walking to where the food is.
Yeah, I'll return it with a little like solemn nod and be like, "Morning."
Morning.
Okay.
Are we together at this
I guess
point?
that's what the
or is it-
conversation dies.
Yeah, you
Oh.
guys are right there with each other,
Okay.
yeah.
How did
So what kinda-
stuff with Leo yesterday?
Yeah, he certainly showed me some stuff. Probably best not to talk about it here, but
Yeah, I guess you're not wrong there.
it's going to be something certainly to talk about, and after that, and after I walked back into the city, I ran into, not even before that, what am I talking about? I'm not even that tired anymore, I'm just being dumb.
Oh, you look a lot better.
Because I actually slept. I ran into my friend, Selena, the one who is being stalked. And it turns out the guy stalking her was asking about me, and also is aligned with Leo and his group. So there's that to consider as well.
Huh. Seems like quite the big conversation when we all do have that conversation.
Yeah,
Stalker not asking about their stalker or stalky, person they're stalking, but they're asking about you.
Yeah, and I managed to kind of scare him off. Not really, but I didn't get more information. But he was lying through his teeth, and he obviously was trying to act like he didn't know what was going on. But he had quite a journal he was writing in. But yeah, once we're done with breakfast, maybe we can go to our good old blue
Table.
blue table.
Okay.
Pain.
I built up the suspense on purpose. I hope you know.
I figured.
Yeah, no, that's probably for the best. We need to get this situation sorted so she's not stalked anymore and figure out why they're asking about you. But beyond that, yeah, let's get some food. Just gonna finish plating my food and find a spot in the tables.
Yep, I'll just kind of grab whatever's in front of me as I've been focusing on talking, and just plop it on there, not really knowing if it's something I'll enjoy or not, and just kind of follow after.
You got like a mix mash of like breakfast quiches and like just morning cornbread and just like some broken eggs, and it's kind of running all over your plate. And as you're not paying attention, as you're kind of scooping it on, there's like a waffle on there. It's like the weirdest mishmash of food you've ever seen.
Talk about breakfast lasagna, if anything.
And as you guys sit down with your food sent, are you heading to the cafeteria? What are you doing?
I would say probably around like the time where they get their food. He'll probably show up by then.
That's when you kind of wander in, and you guys see Sense alive.
He kind of wanders in, and you kind of just see him, just like his mane just very disheveled, and he didn't take time to take care of himself this morning. He kind of just walks at the table and kind of just plops down, steals some of Cyrus's food, and just kind of just sits there.
Help yourself. There's a lot here. But how are you holding up, son?
Nothing different from last night. But when we have more private time, there was some stuff I heard on the way back to my dorm between two individuals that might be involved in some things that we're working on.
Well, that's good, because I was just talking to Avrath that maybe after breakfast we go to a blue table where we know we have a little more privacy, so we can talk about some other things that I experienced as well.
Perfect. I'm for this. I need to distract myself a little bit, work on other things, and this might be the perfect time to do that.
Yeah, we can go later. I don't know, lunch maybe? I got busy dinner with my brother later, but before that, I'm free.
Why don't we just go right after here? We can wander the town as necessary and just sip on something to drink, because something tells me I'm not going to be able to eat all of this, and I don't know if I'm even going to like half of this, and I'll just kind of like poke at everything on my plate with like a fork very cautiously.
I'll look up from my food and point at Cyrus and be like, yeah, actually that's smart.
Yeah, while you guys are doing this, like, kind of just passive table talk, he just pulls out a journal and just starts kind of writing in a journal about some, like, all the events that's been going on.
A few seconds later, a plate gets sat down at your table, and Dane sits, and he says, breakfast. Oh, one of the best meals of the day. How is everybody?
He gets it. Hi, Dane.
Oh yeah, Dane wasn't there for anything, was he?
He was there for the Cloud Catacombs stuff, and then he went with Avrith to the blue table, but after that, he wasn't there for any of that other stuff, no.
Okay, cool. So he's aware. Okay, cool.
It's just like shoveling food in. How's everybody doing today?
I'm doing. Good breakfast I got this morning.
Right?
Outdid them, sorcerer.
So Dane, plan is after we're done here, we're going to the blue table to private talk. Wink, wink. And I'll physically, like, very awkwardly wink, wink as I'm saying it, you know? Like leaning in.
Sense just gonna kind of like, because he's like starting to lean into Sense like space. He's just gonna kind of put his hand up, just like right next to his face, and kind of just slowly push him back. We get it. We know.
Hey, it's either that or I, make fun of his foot fetish. But I'm getting tired of that joke.
It's getting a little dated. You're right.
Thank you. And he turns and he looks at you, Cyrus, and now that he's like turned in that direction, you guys see as there's like something dry and red on his left cheek. And he says, listen, can we just like drop the foot thing?
Can I do a perception check on his?
I was also going to have to do a perception check as well.
Or, actually, sorry. Could I do is it possible to do a medicine check on it without physically touching him? Kind of see what it is. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Right. Yeah, I'll let you do your check first.
I'm going to do none of my business check. Is that
17?
Cool,
yeah. So, Sen, you've spent a lot of time in Amon, and you know in Asuka that like as you're growing up, they make everybody sort of take part in like military action, which involves first aid, which means you've spent time and you've seen blood and you've seen dried blood. This is 100% dried blood on Dane's face.
He's just gonna kind of look at Dane's face for an abnormally long time. Just kind of looking at that spot specifically. Just wordlessly for a while.
I'm gonna look. Oh wait, sorry. No, I would. Can I do a perception check actually?
Yeah, I should probably. I'll do my perception check as well, just for
Fuck.
posterity's
All
sake.
right. So I don't know what the fuck this is.
18.
Cyrus, kind of same deal. I mean, you know what dried blood looks like, and you can tell.
Damn, I'm stupid today.
However, if you're like, Dane playing with paint?
Food.
Did some ketchup getting on his face?
Yeah, after looking at it for a while, Sen's just gonna kind of like extend one of his claws and kind of just poke at the spot. What did you do?
Oh, he just sort of rubs it off, and it kind of crumbles off of his face, and he just wipes it off with a napkin.
What'd you
Got
do?
into a scuffle.
Or rather,
Got into a scuffle last night on my way home, and somebody punched me in the face pretty good, and looks like I missed the spot.
can I do an insight check on him?
Yeah.
Is it somebody we know?
Well, I'm stupid.
Yeah, he's just asking Dane. Just, is it somebody we know?
Sorry.
That's okay.
The reason why I was doing the insight check was to see if pay attention to like his body language.
Yeah.
Body language,
To see if like yeah.
So it seems like when he said that, it sounded like he was being honest with you. It sounds like
Okay.
what he was telling you was the truth. And he looks at you, son. He said, "No, it's just some drunkard out by the blue table. I left Avarif, and on my way home, it was, I don't know, late night in the red light
And vouch
district.
for that.
Yeah,
Sorry, buddy. I should have came walking with you.
don't worry about it.
He looked worse than you did, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He only got one hit off me, and he was drunk, so pretty easy to put down.
Look at Dane. You know who could hurt the man like that?
Yeah,
huh?
come on.
He's built up, man. He got himself.
Now may I do an insight
Well-
check?
Yeah, go for it.
10.
Yay. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, it sounds like he's being pretty honest, straightforward. You can't detect any hints of lying. And with Avarif kind of vouching for it a little bit, kind of backs up his story.
All right.
Hmm.
Sorry,
By
I've
the
been
way-
I've been very on my toes lately, and I'm sorry if I'm asking too many questions.
No, you're good.
We all need some tap dancing lessons right now. Everyone's been on their toes.
Definitely more for him.
Dane.
Yeah, definitely.
I worry if we start taking tap dancing lessons that Dane's gonna get a little too excited.
Shut up!
I don't know what you mean. I already know how to
thought we were
dance.
gonna drop that. Wait.
Opportunity presented itself.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go back to my food.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, why don't you guys finish up and we head over to the blue table?
All right, let's go. And Dane stands up with his plate,
Can I
and he's
take my plate
shoveling.
with me?
Yeah, let's take our plates. That'll be
All right.
fine.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
Isn't that technically against food safety law to bring in
we'll
outside
bring
food
it
into a
It's
restaurant?
fine. We'll.
He's a fifth year. He gets in trouble, not me.
Where's your buddy? Where's Gage? Maybe he can help us.
Oh, not a bad idea. I have a whistle, right? Or is it like a bell?
It's a bell.
It's a bell.
Bell. I'm gonna ring the bell.
Yeah, and as soon as you ring the bell, you see, kind of like from the shadow behind your table towards the wall, Gage just steps out. Hello, Master Avarif.
Have you tried today's breakfast, man? It's good. I'm just gonna keep
was-
stuffing his face.
Quite delicious.
Wait, what do we need, Dane? He's gonna go look at Dane.
He's gonna take our plates after we're done.
Oh, okay. You wanna follow us to the blue table, man?
If that is what you wish, Master Avrith.
No, thank you, man. You'll devour this.
At this point, I'm just gonna like get up from my table, from my seat. I'm just gonna start walking out towards the blue table.
You guys can definitely do that. On the way, Avrith and Dane, both of you guys finish your breakfast, and you can hand Gage the plates.
Can I also hand Gage 10 gold?
You may.
Or 1 platinum, I guess it would be.
Yeah, you
I'm gonna
may.
attempt to hand him. I'll be like, hey, sorry, I don't usually ask you to do stuff. This is on me today. And I'm gonna like try to hand over the coin.
He looks at he like takes it tentatively, and he says, "You realize this is like my job."
I feel bad. Listen, you take that. I'm gonna start running away.
The help.
This will cover dinner, I guess.
What? He's gonna kind of like whip his head back. Man, you expensive dinner. All right.
No, this is covering your dinner, Master Avrith, and you're just like running.
Oh, I'm gonna wave my hand back. Don't mind me.
Oh, Jesus. All right. And he's just gonna turn and he's gonna walk back to the academy with the plates.
Sounds good.
All right, you guys get to the blue table. No problem. You find a seat. No problem. Nice secluded booth.
Did they paint that door blue?
No, I think that they
I think
are
they did.
going to be.
Yeah, I see a little test paint on the door, huh? All right.
Oh, it says
Yeah,
blue
maybe they're gonna
table,
change the
not
name,
blue
I don't know.
door, buddy. Kind of like slap his knee.
A passing waitress says, "Oh, you saw our new paint job? I hope it turns out well. They've been thinking about rebranding for a while. They even made us put on these nice fancy new blue aprons."
Oh,
So
what do you think of calling the place then afterwards?
does fit.
the blue.
Well, I mean, we got these blue tables. We're gonna have a blue door. We have blue aprons. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in charge of this place, so I don't know if they're gonna rebrand the name. But I know they're.
I mean,
Blue House is pretty good. I'll pass it up the chain.
Yeah, it's perfect idea. Just the blue.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah, just call it the blue. Yeah. I think that'll be smart.
House of Blues.
The House of Blues.
Ooh,
yes.
House of Blues.
Blues,
That'd be
yeah.
can I do a perception check to check what color of blue we're looking at?
good.
What shade of blue?
Specific shade of blue.
Yeah, go
Sky
for
blue,
it.
like
Yeah,
mixed
yeah,
green
yeah,
blue.
yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay, I got
yeah,
Let's go.
for it.
Best roll in the
That's
game.
17. Yeah, it's sort of like in between. It's like a little bit of a navy cobalt-ish blue.
So more of a brighter blue.
Yeah. It's got that like
Okay.
nice lighter feel to it. Nice little like hints of cerulean, you know.
Nice. Good choice in the color. And we're gonna start heading off to their table.
Yeah.
The Cobalt Cafe. He walks away.
The Cobalt Cafe, that's a good one.
Good.
Guys,
That's
guys,
good. I'll
guys,
pass
guys.
it up the chain.
Side note, put some money into this place.
Do they know
know,
we're regulars here?
Oh yeah, at this point we're regulars.
Point your
Yeah.
regulars.
But yeah, I'm gonna, as we're walking towards our table, I'm gonna get everybody together and be like, guys, maybe we should like invest in this place, maybe, just make a little good side hustle. I think it's promising.
Not a bad idea.
All of you.
I mean, is this place pretty profitable though? Like, there is a lot of customers here?
From your experience, this place is pretty poppin'.
Okay. I was like, it might be hard, but we can talk to the boss, maybe.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, right? That way we technically don't have to work a day in our lives. Technically.
We'd have to work in the marketing aspect.
And we get food because this is a food establishment. You kind of see Avra's eyes
Not
kind of glow up.
necessarily.
I like this idea. Let's get this investing thing going. Whatever that means.
I mean, we might get like a singular comp a day, but that's about it.
Gage, get my daddy on the line.
But yes, no. Let's table that for now. We'll
Gauge
see how.
somewhere in the
Let's
academy is
let's
sneezes.
let's blue table that for now.
Yeah, we'll blue table that for now,
Okay.
Lord.
To the table.
and then we'll sit down at our blue table.
Mm. Yeah,
My
so you
goodness.
do. Some of the chairs are even getting nice new furnishing in a blue color. They're really going all in.
Anyways, so who wants to go first with what they've learned?
Sen just kind of leans back a little bit, just stays quiet for a moment.
Dane just turns and looks at you, Avarith.
What?
Does everybody know?
No what?
No, what?
Kind of.
Is this
I mean,
is this
kind
like
of.
is this a conversation that I should have had with maybe separately beforehand on who knew or who didn't know?
No, it's fine. Later tonight, everyone's gonna know after I confirm the details with my brother. And once that's confirmed, we'll be good to go. Everyone will know.
So I'm the
Yes,
only
I
one who
can.
doesn't know. Is what you're telling
I
me.
didn't say that. I mean, Scent doesn't not know.
That's not inspiring.
Okay. Yeah,
I know.
listen. We'll do it in the catacombs because
This is the
might be safer.
This is the second most private place next to the catacombs. It's okay.
I would say yeah. As long as you're not screaming the information, we're pretty good.
Staying at our hushed tones will be
It's
fine.
not about so much that and so much the reaction that I'm worried about.
I mean, I had a pretty verbal reaction to it, but I think that, I kind of calmed down pretty quick. And I think Cyrus is pretty respectable and
Cyrus.
He's gonna
How do you sleep tonight?
he's kind of sitting next to Cyrus right now, Sent is, and he's just gonna kind of look at him. Just, if you're going to keep your reaction as calm and quiet for now until we leave the public, it might be okay for Avarith to tell you.
I need a promise, though. I know that's selfish of me asking. I just don't want to disrupt anyone.
Zero yelling.
Fine. No yelling.
He just kind of gestures. to Avarith.
It's to kind of tighten up his face.
If you don't say it, I will, and it will be very blunt.
Okay. I was gonna wait till later tonight, and I can confirm other information. But okay, I don't think Sho is our guy, and I'm not 100% certain on that. But I don't believe he is. But to play
Okay.
it safe, I decided it would be best if we had an inn that he trusted, and it was on the outside, something less sus, something he wouldn't be able to detect. And so, well, you know, when we had that dinner, I had the dinner with him and Sharina, and well, I mean, Sharina looked lovely that night. I'm sorry, but in general, the consensus was he'd take a liking to me, and then we talked more, and then we talked a little bit more, and then that next morning we talked a lot more. He doesn't really speak a lot of words, but you know, like in his friendship, he's speaking more. And then I did a thing, and that thing, so I wow, that's crazy. Do you guys see the light?
In less than 24 hours, he
What's the
became
thing?
signed on as Squire.
He's gonna just pause with his mouth open.
You kept being around the bush.
Yeah, why? It's not really an easy something to talk about.
And why did you not see it fit to tell me sooner?
It is only I'm with Avarith on this. It is only a small deviation in our plans. Yes, you are not going to become that Squire, but Avarith is still involved. He's still going to be in on it. I was upset too, but upon thinking about it over the course of the day, it'll work.
I mean,
Everything will
you
work
had
out.
a bad day. You looked exhausted. I wanted to wait till a good time.
I think it was also
See-
more organic this way, with
I
Sho
agree.
picking himself.
Sorry.
Well, that's the
Here's my
sus-
problem with
sus
this.
part.
Yes.
Here's my problem with this. We just had a spat literally the other fucking night about being open and honest about stuff, and I asked you, and I admitted that, you know, let bygones be bygones, whatever. But this is fucking important. You could have told me.
Listen.
See, the problem here is this hurts a little more that I'm the last person to fucking find out.
Well, technically, you're not the last.
Dane, you're not helping.
Sorry.
To be fair, I weaseled it out of him, and it wasn't really his fault for telling me first.
I can't remember. Did Gage knows, right? Or did I? I didn't tell him.
You didn't tell Gage. You didn't tell him.
But in all fairness, the only reason why I found out was very organically from that other person that came in and kind of interfered, saying that he was interacting with Show.
The show.
Yeah, yesterday morning.
And look, okay? Look, I'm less mad about the Squire thing now, okay? I'm less mad about it because I have something that I wanted to talk to you all about anyways that I'm going to do regardless.
Good things?
Yes, I hope. It's just that
I get it. I didn't tell you at that time, but I said in time that you would know. It's not that I wanted to withhold it from you. It's that I didn't really fully know what was happening. Like when I had that lunch or dinner, he said it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's not gonna happen. And then the morning came, and it did happen, and then I was just, oh. Which is why I was a little awkward yesterday of talking to you, because I was like,
Cyrus, you do gotta remember that he kind of only thinks in the moment. He doesn't really think 10 steps ahead with Avarif's, mindset. I mean, listen, he just kind of knocks on his head and you just hear, just like hollow.
Look, I understand, okay? And I'm not as mad as I would have been had I found this out previously, okay? At this point, our plan's kind of fucked. Let's be honest. Kind of a little fucked.
The deviation.
We can call it a deviation.
Can I kind of squint his eyes? What plan again was this?
Oh my god. Anyways, our plan is kind of fucked at this point. It's still kind of working, but it's kind of fucked. I know we are still kind of working on our trust thing here, buddy, but I wish you would have told me sooner. And I know you can say excuses like, well, Gage doesn't know, and I'm not the last person to find out, but out of our group right now, I am the last person to find out.
Technically, my sister is the last one to know.
I understand, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to exclude that. Sorry. Force of me not fully acknowledging that and remembering her existence. But my point stands somewhat.
You were one of the last few.
Mad. I'm less mad and I'm more disappointed.
Everyone's gonna stand up and like slowly walk over to him and then like straighten up and tighten up. It's like, okay, I'll grit my teeth. Just slap, punch, one good one. Just don't make me less pretty than I already am.
I'm taking a rain check on that.
I'll take you up on this, and he punches him in the gut.
I don't want to lose that breakfast.
I'm still mad at you from yesterday.
Yeah, that's fair. That's your one up. Oh, I'm gonna start.
I'm going to save mine for a special place sometime soon, and you'll see why. Anyways, so knowing that, what do you have to tell us outside of the fact that you're now poised and going to be squire to the student council president? Because there's got to be more than just you agreed to it.
Well, I mean, you have to talk to the headmistress. That was terrifying. Yeah, I mean, she just kind of grilled me with my knowledge of the kingdom, and she was talking about the past of the kingdom, which I don't know anything about. And then I left, we got the papers, and then tomorrow they're gonna announce it, if not later tonight. Well, at least it'll be in circulation later tonight with papers, and then it'll be sent out tomorrow.
Great. My biggest concern about this is how is Leo going to react? Because the other thing I was planning on doing was already gonna fuck him up mentally anyways, was because I was gonna become Ionos' squire. To try and protect her.
Dean spits out his drink.
He's gonna put his head up. Oh.
What?
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
That's
So,
a really good idea.
I got to spend some time with Ionos yesterday. Some long overdue time. And I asked her a couple questions. I got some answers I was looking for, and then she asked me if I wanted her to resign and leave the academy and go back home to Shinami. And I told her that I didn't want to make that decision for her. And she had every single right to make that decision on her own because she owes me nothing. Because it wasn't her fault that she acted the way she did. She was trying to protect me because of guess who? Fucking Leo. And she spent so long protecting me that I decided it's my turn to help protect her. And what better way can I do that than being her squire? She's going to write to a trusted colleague to get to the academy sooner than they were anticipating, and then assign them as an aide. And if I'm able to become squire, which I've already gained her blessing, I need only convince Leo, which I'm sure I can through some miracle of bullshittery. I can at least stay close to Ionos and make sure she's safe to an extent
So,
from Leo.
what I'm hearing is we just got a 2-up on Leo in a very, very major way.
In a sense, yes. Now, whether or not I'm able to fully convince Leo is one thing, but also to an extent, I technically don't need his approval.
So I'm saying,
Ionos can make the decision on her own and get approval from elsewhere in the student council, but it would look better for Sent and I, especially since we're more in line with the coup group, if I got his blessing as well. But push comes to shove, I'm going to do what I have to do to protect my sister. And I see being her squire as the next best thing, which also gives me access to more than we already have access to in terms of the student council.
Speaking of Ionos, how is she after yesterday? Like, does she look like there's a change in her?
She's better. Yep. She,
More like her old self?
yeah. It's kind of funny. I'm sure there might be a rumor going around, but we can kind of try and squash that out. We went out to get some drinks at Thanks a Latte, and the entire way she held my hand. And some people saw it. Nobody that I knew was a part of the coup group or anybody I recognized, but she held my hand the entire way. And we had our moments of hugs and tears were shed, obviously, and some sibling love was well overdue and given. So
there was love in the knock.
The same
I'm
kind of
going to
love as
stare
between.
daggers at Avrath.
It's the same love as between my sister
sorry,
and I.
sorry.
It's just this sweet love. It's like
Oh,
more like a friendship.
speaking of your sister, was she on the student council at all?
No, she was supposed to be. She was supposed to take, ironically, the squire position for sure. That was her goal given to her by our mother. To get in and become a higher up and become the next leader of the school.
Interesting. So she's not on like disciplinary committee with you at all, or?
No.
Oh.
She roomed with me, but that was because I told Sho that I wasn't going to leave her on her own.
Makes sense.
It was she was the one who vouched for me to be the head of the committee. She's the one who, during the assembly, once it was all disbanded and the crowds were going crazy, she stood up at show while they were figuring out who was going to be the next one to replace him. And I can't remember his name, so I'm just saying him. But and said to take me. And so I followed him in. Him and I had a talk, probably very similar to the one that you and him had, Avarif. And
Talking about Victor, by the way.
Victor, thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
He's the one name I don't have in my notes. I need to change that. But essentially, probably the same talk that you two had, and our goals aligned. And I was going to pressure him to make me squire, but being a part of the disciplinary committee is just as good. Allows me to have enforcement in the school that needs to be held by good people.
Fair enough. Well, now that the elephant's out of the room, what do you both have to update us on?
Well, outside of the whole me wanting to be Ironos' squire thing and not even wanting me going to become it, this is kind of in regards to one of the disciplinary committee requests with my friend Selena. I ran into her before I ran into Leo and found out more information about her stalker. First and foremost, he went to her at the Naughty Elf, which, by the way, she's not a prostitute anymore. She's just working the book section.
Oh, good.
That's
Good
wonderful.
for her, right?
I love the bookstore.
Yeah, it's great. We need to go back there. He approached her and started asking questions about me. And only me. And I since started following her around. I managed to scare him off because I approached him and he was lying through his teeth, so I could tell that he was obviously taking notes of some kind in regards to Selena and maybe even me. But then after he started running away, Leo showed up and I talked to him about it, and Leo confirmed that he's part of the coup group and that he was kind of doing something under Leo's guidance per se. Not necessarily in the correct manner he intended, but he said he was going to talk to him about it. But the fact that he was asking questions about me to a friend of mine and also doing it in a very, very, very wrong and concerning manner is something to be brought up. Also, just as you know, something we should be doing as members of the disciplinary committee. We should be able to handle that way. But also, Leo finally had something to show to me. He brought me to the student council rooms. It was Blaine, right? That was showing the records, right? Actually?
You just turned into a little bit of a robot at the end there.
Oops. Sorry.
You're good now. Could you
Better.
just repeat kind of the last bit you said?
Yeah.
It was Blaine who was.
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
Blaine.
cool. Yeah,
Yep.
that's all I was confirming. Cool.
Okay. Yep.
Leo took me to see Blaine because he had uncovered some records, and he just showed a lot of voting fraud. There was records showing many, many different students actually winning elections in the student council elections and not actually being named the winners. Seth, we know that you were technically not an official winner. Sho just gave you the position and the election was a formality. But even Sho himself was not actually a winner of his own election. It was somebody else. And there's been a history of voting fraud throughout Sho's time being student council president. And there's a chance that there's been a history prior to Sho as well. I told Blaine to look more into it, but that's what I learned. And that's what Leo is planning to try and use as one piece of evidence to try and overthrow the student council as it stands right now. So this goes a little bit further than just being concerning or them messing up the ballots. There's a written history showing the true election results. And don't get me wrong, Sho was close to winning, but he still lost. And every following year, every single election was rigged. In most cases. There were some that were won, but there's a clear history of voting fraud. That's all I got.
Well, you're not the only one who interacted with some members of that group last night. Well, encountered is probably the better word for it. On my way out of the catacombs, I encountered Hugo. And Hugo and we had a good long talk as needed. Friends talking and such. But talked slightly about Leo and such, and future plans and stuff for ourselves and investigations and so on. But ironically, once that conversation started to happen, Roland and Jared both showed up. I hid both Hugo and I off to the side and heard them, Hugo more than me, surprisingly, heard them talking about something that Leo did. I didn't really hear it that well, but Hugo is slightly in the know about the situation with Leo and what to keep an eye on him. That's all I really told him. But he knows to look into stuff relating to Selena and Jared. Roland, we might have a talk with about potentially maybe trying to sway him away from this whole situation in general. I don't think Roland really wants to be involved. I think he's just kind of he's just along for the ride at the moment and not really the one who put the safety straps on, to say the least. He's kind of just forced in. Roland could be useful. He could be a good asset, not necessarily a friend, but someone who might be able to help us, just like Alessandra is. That's yeah. It's a bit, but Jared needs to be. We need to keep an eye on him still, though. I know you mentioned that Leo is going to put him in his place a little bit, but he's still investigating on us with stuff relating to someone who doesn't even know me, barely knows that you two interact with each other, but he's still hunting for leads on Selena, like via Selena. It's just odd.
Yeah. Well, there's only so much we can do right now, but we have to just stay vigilant about it. Because we have a lot on our plate right now. Between needing to investigate the high forest and getting stronger to help get your sister back. We also have to take care of everything here in regards to the coup, in regards to whatever the hell's going to happen once the freaking public knows about Avra becoming Sho's squire, and me having to convince Leo without breaking my solemn duty as his brother. Ugh, hate saying that now. And staying on his good side. We have a lot cut out for us, and I think we need to seriously consider what our next plan of action is going to be.
Everything will work. It'll work out in the end.
It will. It's just, we need to decide what our next action is first, so we can start getting the ball rolling. I'm sure things are just going to naturally happen as they will, but even at that, we still need to think about what we're doing together as a group, the four of us. Especially considering, again... Sorry, go ahead.
No, please finish.
All I was gonna say is, especially since that we have a ways to go in terms of getting stronger, if what Istis said has anything to go by, we also need to be stronger in order to tackle any more palaces that we haven't yet discovered, outside of what, the 2, 3 else that we're aware of. Just spitting numbers out at this point.
Good few. That does bring me to what I was thinking. We do have a couple options we could do. And he pulls out the rock or the stone or whatever. This will guide us to remnants of Cinna in the forest. Or not necessarily Cinna, but Cinna's persona, Timora's other half, Bashaba. It'll lead us to her, and if we get that, we can bring it back to Istis for more information. While we're there, we could train a little bit, we could fight a little more, maybe take on some more of those assignments that the guild leader has for us. Or the other option is we go into Bernie's palace. Bernie, I find, might be another priority here. She can help. Even a little bit. She's strong. She has the ability to be a strong force, but something is holding her back right now. She may not be able to help us in palaces, but she might be able to help us just on this side. And I want her with us. But
Well,
it's either that or get my sister and maybe a remnant of her or Bashaba back. We don't have to do it today, we don't have to do it this week, but I think those are 2 leads that could put us in the right direction.
Avaraf, your thoughts?
I don't have much planned, so whatever we gotta do, I'm down to help both of you.
Dane?
He looks at the rock that you have sent and he says, if we go to the high forest, we can definitely get some money out of the guild. If we take some jobs, some hunting quests, I'm sure we could probably get something. We might also be able to get a few leads from the issue forms if we know the identities of all of the individuals that, are being requested we look into.
That's true.
So should, say Roland is there, maybe we can flip him.
Well then, my
But
thoughts were to go to the high forest to begin with. It's a way
Yeah.
for us to kind of, see if we can't get stronger, see if we can't pick up any more leads out here for the academy and the disciplinary committee's issues, get some more money along the way, and also help Seth.
I
So,
agree.
Stuff with me,
my,
with my sibling, will happen over time. It's not going to all happen at once. I came to that realization last night.
Yeah.
Upon talking with Istis more, once you all left. I will be working with her more and training with her, but
We
we can't rush it.
can. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt,
Mhm.
but I do think if you want to also get Bernie, I think that that's also a solid lead. If you think that she can help us on this side of things or that side of things, I mean, I've seen her a few times in the training grounds. She seems like she can handle herself, so I'm not really worried about Leo and his crew physically hurting her.
She's a fighter. She's changed so much in the past couple of weeks.
Seth, and you'll have to excuse the question. Your sister was also very close with Bernie, right?
Very.
Not to obviously dissuade pursuing Bernie's palace and trying to delve deeper into it as an option. But why don't we go to the high forest first, see what we can figure out about, your sister, and see what we can't do to just get started on that, and then maybe, chip away both of them simultaneously. If your sister was as close to Bernie as you say she was, I think it'd I think it'd only do her justice if she, in some way or form, was also there. You know?
I agree.
Not maybe, if she was wholly there, or there's just a part of her essence there, so be it. I think it'd be smart if we had something of your sisters to be with us.
Yeah.
If we decide to go and tackle Bernie's palace.
I think that's a great idea.
So,
yeah.
My vote is we go to the High Forest. Unless anybody has anything planned today, we can go today. Delve deeper, tackle some requests.
Avaref is busy. Yes.
Well, Ever, if you have dinner plans, we can be back by dinner. It's still it's like 9:30 in the morning right now.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Question to DM.
Yes.
Does time in the High Forest operate similarly to when we're in the palaces? So time moves differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to remind myself of that. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Avaref, if you recall from when we were last in the High Forest, time kind of operates similarly to when we're in palaces. So we probably won't actually lose a lot of time by going to the High Forest, especially considering we have ease of access thanks to the Cloud Catacombs.
Oh. Well, yeah. In that case, then I have...
So we can easily be back before your dinner plans.
Fine with me.
I think it'll work. Yeah. Why don't we do that?
So we all in agreement? Off to the High Forest?
Off to the High Forest.
To the High Forest.
All right.
Then I'll awkwardly try to get up, even though I know Set is next to me. I'll just kind of start shimmying and be like,
excuse me, pardon me, excuse me.
I said off to the High Forest. Come on. I like these blue tables and these blue chairs, but God, it's tight in here.
Dane looks at everybody as you're all kind of starting to shimmy out, and he says, "Does anybody have anything else? Are we caught up with each other? Are we square?"
Do you have anything? I mean, Mr. Dried blood on your face and everything. Are you good?
A scuffle with a drunk isn't really anything to catch you guys up on.
Anything else besides the scuffle on the drunk?
I mean, no, not really. I had a conversation with my aunt. I, went home. That was it.
Yeah. All good to me. I'm also gonna get up and start leaving.
Yeah. Dane gets up as well.
Alright.
Okay.
Anybody need anything before we head to the Cloud Catacombs?
Another day.
Yup. Something you can buy with money?
An 8th day in the week. That's what I need.
We can talk to Istis about that. Hey, we can also talk about Kronos. He's the god of time, right?
Dane kind of nervous laughs. I don't know if you want to ask him to do that.
He might twist it.
He might make things worse.
Just say it was a joke. We're just kidding.
Okay. I'll let you make that
Anyways. Yeah, I'm not making it. I'm not the one asking for an 8th day in the week.
So, you arrive at the Cloud Catacombs. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Cool. So, as we enter the Cloud Catacombs,
to
summon Lathander, whisper in his ear, "Hey, can you suit me up in the armor real quick? I gotta do something."
Sure. Ba-doo-doo.
Cool.
Suit it up.
And then I'm going to ask him again. I need you to. I'm gonna just whisper here incoherently. No, I don't want it. I'm just gonna. Cool. That's the game plan.
Okay.
And so then I'm gonna get my fist, my right fist specifically, in position. I'm going to have summon fire to surround my fist, right? Right? And I'm going to like try and coalesce the flames so they're not like you know, like spraying out. So it's just sort of like my arm, my hand, and my forearm kind of get coated in like a really intense heat. Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna dash up to Avrath and I'm going to gut punch him.
This is the most psychotic shit. Do I recognize or have any idea what's happening?
I mean, you for sure see him coming with the fist of justice.
Okay.
Whether or not you want to just try to take this punch or, you know, whatever, what have you, knowing that you gave him a free shot, that's on you. I'll let you make that distinction on how you want to try to react. I mean, he's gonna. Are you letting him hit you, or do you want to try and like defend it? That's the question.
Does Helm have like a shield at all?
Let me add this in. Well, I want to add this in. As I'm approaching him, I'm yelling, I'm cashing in my rain check now.
This is not what I had in mind. Oh. Shit.
Cashing in the rain check.
Your rain check ideas are quite the difference here.
This is still technically an unarmed strike, mind you.
It is,
No.
yeah. It is.
All right, I'm just gonna yell back. Give me a potion of healing after, and then just like T-pose.
Yeah. So yeah, you can hit him. Easy enough, 2 damage. Nice.
2 damage.
Oh.
Right in the gut. You can feel some regurgitation from your breakfast that like settles back down.
I didn't really want to taste that again that way.
I'll reel back and I'll be like, no, before I do that, my fist's still kind of like in his gut. I'll go up and whisper to him, now we're even. And then I'll pull away, kind of like shake my arm off a little bit, and then just kind of like push my arms back, you know, as if like I'm kind of like, you know, adjusting my cape, and then the armor will just sort of like dissipate.
I'm gonna just kind of nod while I'm still hunched over and be like, yeah. I'm just gonna start crawling over somewhere.
Hey man, it was only a punch. Just imagine if I whipped out the Dawn Sword, which I wouldn't do to you.
How kind you are. Oh, God.
You're fine.
Sorry, listen to this.
Don't forget to take 2 damage.
I already did.
Good. Otherwise, I'll cash in another rain check.
Watch that 2
Jesus.
damage be the
Yeah, that's the
point of the thing.
yeah.
That's my living or not living high HP.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna start walking back to the group or wherever.
Nice. All right, so you can head to the other door where you know the High Forest entrance is at. Easy enough. You get there, you're at the High Forest. Congratulations. The twins walk out with you, and they Comey says, "Going to the High Forest today?" Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah,
Join us.
I was gonna say, obviously, we're here, aren't we?
He's just gonna hold out the rock. We got a few things planned, for sure.
She says, "Okay, we'll be here when you get back." Anyone says, "Try not to be too dangerous out there. Don't do anything stupid."
We'll try our best. No guarantees.
They is like a fact check. Never really ever look out for people that way, do they?
Not really. I mean, one of them's a little more passive than the other one, so
Right.
it's not completely out of character.
Okay. All right.
Also, question to you, Dashing. Are we
Yeah.
popping out at the entrance to the High Forest or where we left previously?
Popping out at the entrance.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. All right. So, are you going right on in?
I think so.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and enter the high forest. Just
Oh my
screaming in
God.
the background. Nice.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. That was funny.
That was good. All right. So you go in, and you are greeted with a path choice. You can go left or you can go right. Which way would you like to go?
Perception check, please.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
I can't see shit.
An 11. What are you looking for?
That's a good point. I should have thought about that before I just did a perception check. Okay, so looking for anything that might tell which direction might lead towards something. Like if there's any sort of signs of there either being wildlife or even human footprints, if there's anything like that, I'm just kind of being observant to see what might be prevalent to take note of on a given path.
Other than the interesting fact that it is a bit cooler in the high forest than you remember last being here, it seems like the forest is more active right now, which falls in line with what Istis had said to you, Sen.
Yeah.
That due to the leftover magic from a goddess, it is agitated and awoken a lot of the more magical life within the forest. Seems like there's tracks and paths down both sides. With an 11, you can't get a real clear indication of what you're kind of looking for.
Cool. I'll turn to Scent and ask, does that rock kind of give you any indication which way might be the correct way to go? Does it glow when you're looking one way or the other, or something like that?
He's gonna kind of just pull it out, hold it in the palm of his hand, and then kind of just rest his hand over it, and just kind of see if he can do anything, infusing his magic with it. He summons Timora, has her come and help him, find some way to make it guide him.
Yeah, so for sure. Make an Arcana check.
Sure. All right, 17.
Okay, pretty good. It's kind of attuning yourself to the signal of this rock. You feel the pulsating of the rune that's carved in on it, almost directing you to go left.
He's just gonna wordlessly just kind of pivot and make his way to the left path.
Okay.
Left it is.
Yeah, left is always right now, apparently.
As you're walking, you can see the ground as it was grass before, and there obviously were trees, but it's starting to sort of mold into stone pillars, and then it starts to turn into walls, like you're walking into a tunnel almost, as the ceiling is starting to be formulated as you're walking. You can look down even, and the floor is starting to turn into almost like a wood floor panel boarding.
Question, does this evoke any sort of memories from being in Ionos' palace?
Not Ionos' palace, no.
Okay, cool.
But it does look familiar. It looks like a similar panel boarding from the school.
Okay, cool. Just
And
when
then
I thought things couldn't get weirder.
You are greeted from another path, left or right.
How do both paths look at the moment?
One looks like it starts to lead back into a grassy area, and the other path looks like it continues into a more school-like setting.
He's gonna kind of lean towards the school setting, but still check with the stone.
Okay, make another Arcana check.
7.
Hard to tell.
My gut feeling's telling me following this school path, but I'm not sure with the rock.
mean, school path, school, we know it's familiar, at least.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. Why don't we-
Yeah, if anything, probably going down the school path might lead us towards maybe one of our, requestees
like a memory or
villains.
something. Oh,
Possibly.
well, that too.
One,
Or
one of
maybe
the two.
that-
Why don't we go that way?
School it is.
So you begin walking down the path, and you see far ahead of you there are some smaller. You remember them from the last time you were in the high forest. They're almost gnome-like in stature. They have like these red caps, and one of them is like running towards you, but not in like anger or rage, like going to attack you, but like running in fear. And he sees you and just kind of like tries to run around you. And then keeps running past if you don't do anything.
I'll let him go.
Okay.
Well, I grab him by his collar.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Can I?
Yeah.
What do I do?
No, you can just grab him.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm grabbing him.
He looks fucking terrified. He's trying to
I'm
get
gonna
away.
grab him,
Yeah, go ahead.
and then I'm gonna hug him.
Oh,
Dude,
Sense just gonna keep walking.
you hug him and he
Hey.
he just no get off me, get off me. No,
Hey, we'll protect
he's
you.
trying
We'll
to
protect you.
he's trying to squirm. He's trying to squirm out of your
Boy.
grasp.
What
Get- let
is
me go.
beyond there? We'll fight it. We'll take it out. You don't have to be feared. All right. Well,
No, let me just go. Let me go, please.
Guys, listen. I don't
just
know what you
let him
guys are
go. He
No.
obviously doesn't want to be
Tell me,
hugged
tell
right
me,
now.
Tell me.
It's a scary monster. Okay.
Oh, okay. He's gonna let him go.
Let's go. And he keeps running.
Cool. Scary monster, guys. Be careful.
And you keep walking down the
Put two and
path,
two together.
and you see another one of these little guys running, and he trips, and you see stepping out of a shadow, looks like a student, just steps on him
Oh.
and just crushes his spine as the small little red cap dies right there.
I want to nudge the Dane. Is this what you have in mind with your thing?
Nope. Not the time. Not the time, Avrith.
Gotcha.
Golem. Sorry.
Curious.
I know we killed these things before, but that's kind of messed up. That's
And,
cruel.
the guy turns and looks at you, and his eyes are warped. He almost doesn't look human. He doesn't look like a normal person would.
But he has our uniform on.
He's wearing your uniform. His face looks human. However, he himself, his eyes look warped. And he
That doesn't
looks
look normal.
he looks at you and he squints his eyes, and he pulls out a rapier, and he says, "More punks come to join the fencing club, huh?"
Oh, actually, I had an interest in fencing. What do you teach?
Now's not the time, Golem. I'll turn back. After I say that to him, I'll turn towards our assailant, and I'll just say, "Nope," and then I'll summon the Dawn Sword on my chest, bring it out. I much preferred my good old big great sword here.
Well then, let's see how well you choose to use it. On guard.
Say less, and I'll assume a battle stance.
All right, go ahead and roll initiative.
I'm gonna watch this.
There is a battle
Oh.
map if you guys want to look at it.
Yeah.
Sure. Is it off of the map?
It is. It is.
I'm
It'll play by-
excited. It's all been updated.
Yeah, there's some updates. It's a pretty basic map, but it's. I wanted to see what the D&D Beyond's like stock maps look like in practice, so we're using that. But yeah, they got some cool new stuff. They have this like pointer thing. I don't know if you're looking at the map right now.
Oh, I can see that. Heck yeah.
So we can do that. There's
That's neat.
you can't see it, but you can do it. There's a ruler option, so you can like measure
Yeah.
spell
Oh, wait,
range
something
now.
is-
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
this
I don't
is
see the Oh,
This
wait, no,
is
never mind.
this
Yeah, you
is
can
my
see this stuff.
this is my favorite one.
Whee!
This is my favorite one. I can circle things or be like, oh, they're going this way.
There's a wall here now, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, the ruler's
Cool.
nice. It's like,
Whee! That's cool.
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
Yeah, the ruler is awesome. It's like, oh, you're 60 feet away. All right. Anyway. So, Dane needs to roll initiative.
Oh, I need to roll initiative too.
Yes. Wow.
Woof.
Everybody but
Dude,
Simon.
whenever I'm in
Hey, let's
combat,
go.
my
Oh,
initiative's
okay,
ass.
All right. Golem, you are up at the top of initiative.
Let me use my ruler real quick to see how far I am. I'm 60 feet away.
Yes.
Actually, you're 65 feet away.
Okay. I still have no fucking range. Yeah, I'm just gonna move. How do I can't move my guy anymore.
You click on the token browser, you should be able to do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Nice. You gonna hold your attack or you just
I will hold me attack.
okay.
On guard.
All right.
as they say.
Up next, Twilight.
Excellent. I will move forward 30 feet. Oh, oops. I hit pan versus select. Boop. And then that makes me, what, 35 feet away from him right now? Technically.
Yep.
Alright, cool. I will attempt an attack with Dawn Sword, transforming it into my longbow, the Dawn Bow,
Okay.
and attempt to hit him there. Would that be at advantage, disadvantage? I'm within 30 feet.
Do you get it? Do you get advantage for being?
I don't
I don't think so.
know.
No.
We just-
Standard.
It's just standard. Okay, cool. Just
Yeah,
wanted to
just
make sure.
standard.
Wasn't sure
Yeah.
if, like, you'd. Yeah, I know if it was farther away, it'd be one thing, but
Yeah. No, it's not standard.
cool. And that is a 9.
No, that is not it.
Cool. And that's my turn.
Okay. Very good. It is going to be Dane's go.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
Everybody's initiative is pretty low. Dang.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's got 35, so he's going to come up over here. You know what? Fuck it, Weeball. Gonna cast Magic Missile. The huge at 3rd level. 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, 1. A 2. 3.
A 3.
A 4. A 5. And a 6.
That's some good damage.
That's pretty good damage. It's 10, 13, 15, 19, 22.
Damn.
Good job, Dane. Alright. It is Cardwin's turn. As he gets barraged by magic missiles, he falls out of his human form and becomes this, like, bestial, like, form of himself with massive teeth. And he's going to come forward. 5, 10, 15, 20. He's going to dash to try to get you, Golem. You're holding your attack action, so go ahead and attack.
Just one, right?
Just one. You just punch him.
Nope.
No, you don't punch him. Never mind. All right, and that is his turn because he tried to dash to you.
Since he dashed, yeah.
Yeah. Scent. Clover, you are up.
I am not in the mood for this. He's gonna run up. Oh, I can't grab. There we go. He's gonna run up slightly behind Golem and Twilight and just cast Toll the Dead. Just gonna slam his sword against this coin that he pulls out. and just this shockwave comes out towards Cardwin. It's a DC Wisdom 11.
I got a 10.
Okay, so he's gonna take. He's already taken a hit, hasn't he? He's taken a few hits, right?
Yep.
It's gonna be 1d12.
Yeah, Dane barraged him with magic missile.
It's 1, right? Just making sure.
I believe it's 1d12.
Yeah, I'm not level 5 yet. Yeah. 4.
Huge.
4 necrotic damage.
Very good. Golem, it is your go.
Oh no. I'm a smack. I think
Smack.
Should I smack?
You schmack.
I'm gonna smack again. I smack.
You schmack.
Ooh. Okay.
Nice.
Oh, I goof, but whatever.
Bloody.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
That'd be all for me.
All right. Twilight, you're up next.
Cool. Question: if I were to move right behind him, would he get an attack of opportunity since I'd be moving out of his attack range? No. Okay, cool.
All
So,
out.
all right, cool. Yeah, I'll move right behind him. God damn it! I need to get used to the new tools again. All right, cool. Do that. Move right
Been a
behind
while.
him for my bonus action. I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike.
Okay.
And sorry, working off of a much smaller monitor is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I need to double refresh my mind for Ensnaring Strike. Next time I hit before the spell ends, Writhing Mass of Thorny Vines, per point impact, target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the magical vines until the spell ends. So I will cast that. And then I will go ahead and attempt to swipe at him with the Morning Star of Dawn.
Let's go.
Yes. So I will go ahead. I will do that, and we'll swing to hit. That is an unfortunate nat 1,
Does not hit.
Oof.
and that's my turn.
You are at advantage because.
Oh, that's right. Cool. I'll roll one more time, just
Yep.
for posterity's sake. Didn't help.
A 1 and a 2. Let's go. That's some yikes.
Damn. Good
Better
try.
now than later. Yeah, exactly. And that's my turn.
Okay.
But Ensnaring
Very
Strike
good.
is still active because it's my next attack.
All right. Jin is gonna go here, and he's going to swipe with his scythe. Oof. Natural 20. Okay.
Holy shit, Dane.
Yeah, he's gonna tear into this guy with his scythe. And as he does, Clover, you feel the rock in your pocket start to vibrate,
Hmm.
almost as if it's being attracted to something. And it is Cardwin's turn. He is going to attempt to attack you, Golem.
Yippee.
10 is not going to hit.
Yes.
Alright, Clover, it's your go.
Smack, smack.
Um.
Oh, fuck, that didn't hit. Oh, wait, Clover.
Clover.
I'm not. Oh,
Golem.
dude, that was impressive. I rolled 2-5.
Yeah, Clover's gonna go and surround Cardwin
Yeah.
again, and you just
Okay.
see you guys now see just this what normally he fights with just gold and like bright colors. You just see his claws and his teeth just kind of become this very dark, almost like brown. He's gonna use Primal Savagery.
Do it.
Is it at advantage because we are flanking?
You are.
Okay. 13.
Yeah, hits.
All right, it's gonna be 1. That's unfortunate. It was on an 8 for a while. Acid damage, if that matters.
Okay. Actually, it does. You tear into him, but it looks like it doesn't do anything at all.
Okay. Seeing it's not gonna do anything, he's gonna cast Hex on him as well.
Okay. He's hexed.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
That's all he's got. Yeah.
Okay. Golem, it is now your go.
Okay, my bad.
Quack, quack.
Sweet.
Let's go.
Fuck.
First one hits, second one does not.
Fuck. All right. What have I got? I don't think. What's a bonus action? What can I do? Bonus action.
How do you want to do this?
Nothing. Does he still have a uniform on?
It looks like he's sort of like malformed into this bestial
Okay.
construct. Like you can see remnants of the uniform in there, but it's.
I'm gonna sweep his legs then.
Okay.
And just get him on his knees. And
Yeah.
Ask him, why are whatever you are here at this school?
What do you mean? And he starts to morph back into his more student-like self, and he says, I'm the captain of the fencing squad. Need to keep those first years in check. A little too full of themselves.
Do you not just see yourself transform? I mean, that's not quite normal student behavior.
Well, what do you mean? Do you think I'm not being too hard on those punks? They deserve it.
What have they done for you then? To have set you so absurdly bad that you transform into an actual monster.
Weren't you just in that position just a couple of years ago?
That's also a good point.
Weren't you a first year not too long ago? What's the difference between you two?
Make a persuasion check, the both of you.
Man.
Ooh, 7.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, this guy hates us.
Difference
Rolls are
between
not
us.
good tonight.
It's that I'm just better. I've never been cocky about my position. I've done what is right. Always for the club.
You're cocky
You
right
sure
now.
about that?
You're very cocky right now. Very
You're
full
on
of
your
yourself.
Goddamn knees. Pompous
Cocky.
behavior.
Twilight, make a persuasion check.
Persuasion, go! That's an 18.
Okay, all right. One of you can do it. I know you can.
See, if my action rolls aren't doing so well,
Yeah.
at least my skill checks are.
Mhm. Yeah, Carbon kind of looks over his shoulder at you after you call him pompous, and he says, "No, but I'm trying to guide them. Have I been wrong?"
Acting like this, how you are in the real world, then hell yes, you're wrong. People don't look to you for leadership as a pompous asshole who thinks he's the best. You and your abilities are meant to guide people, not rule them with an iron fist, not to gloat in front of their faces that you are stronger than them. You're there to help uplift, to help others grow, and you obviously can't do that if you're so goddamn full of yourself.
You might be right. I've shamed my blade. I need to rethink this, my approach to my students and my underlings.
Desperately so.
Thank you all. And he begins to fade from existence. As he does, Sen, you see this kind of purplish essence sort of dissipate from his being as he's kind of disintegrating his body. It seems like there's some magical essence exiting.
Can he kind of reach out with the stone towards this essence?
Mm-hmm. As you do, it's like a magnet almost, and the essence just begins flowing into the stone.
Does anything feel different about it at the moment?
Yeah, it starts to glow as the magic flows in, and as soon as Cardwin disappears and the magic goes into the stone, you hear this low humming and almost a pulling back the way you came.
You just kind of, while still holding the rock and like kind of cupped in his hand, just kind of point with both his fingers, almost like finger guns.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of go, just continue to go in that direction.
That's where we just came from, though. The school's this way.
I know.
We agreed
We can
to.
come back this way later. We have multiple goals, remember?
Oh, right. Stone. Let's follow the stone.
And start following after in that direction.
Alright. So, you can go ahead and follow the stone. Wow, you guys are really close to a level up. But that is where we are going to end game
Hey, y'all.
today. I know.
Hey, yo. Good stuff.
Oh, shit.